Hello and welcome back to Econ with Wes. In this video, I am going to be introducing you to the factors of production. So in economics, we're going to hear the term resources a lot, but when you hear the term resources, you should automatically be thinking about the factors of production. Factors of production are the resources which firms use in order to produce their products or to deliver their service. Now, in the previous video, we discussed that the objective of the firm is to maximize their profit. And in order to maximize their profit, they make products, which could either be a good or a service, with the aim of helping consumers and households maximize their benefit by selling products that consumers either need or want. Now, in order to make the products, firms need resources in order to do this. So the resources can be classified into the factors of production. And there are 4 factors of production. The first factor of production is land. Now, land is the natural resources that are used to make the final product. Okay, so here we're talking about raw materials, natural resources, and these can include things like crops, could include oil, water, wood from trees, etc., etc. Any resource that firms use which is natural. Labour is the next factor of production, and labour are the human resources used to make the final product. So this is any human effort which is involved in making a product. And we'll look at some examples shortly. Capital, the third factor of production, are the man-made resources which are used to make the final product. Okay, so these are resources that have been made. They're not natural. They've been manufactured. So for an example, it could be scissors, it could be a chair, it could be a table. Think about a restaurant. They use man-made resources such as tables, chairs, cash registers. In the kitchen they'll have fridges, etc., etc. Well, these are all man-made resources. Now, the fourth factor of production is enterprise. And enterprise is basically that management of the other 3 factors of production to make the final product. The other 3 factors of production, the natural resources, human resources, and man-made resources, aren't going to get together on their own to produce a product. This is where we need enterprise. This is where we need the management of the other 3 factors of production, or we could alternatively say in the exam, the supervision of the other 3 factors of production in order to make the final product. So this would often be the entrepreneur, or the enterprise could be the owner of the firm. You know, the owner of the firm or the entrepreneur, who is somebody who starts their own business, they have to pay for the natural resources. They have to pay the human effort involved in producing a product, and they have to pay for the capital, the man-made resources. Okay, so as I said, it wouldn't happen automatically. We need the enterprise, we need the business owner, we need the entrepreneur to buy the other 3 factors of production in order to make the final product. So let's have a look at an example here. So let's have a look at the construction industry here. So, you know, we'll have a construction firm with the aim of manufacturing, building a house, as we can see in the visual. So the entrepreneur, the business owner, the owner of the construction company will need to buy natural resources, which we refer to as land. So in this particular instance, it could be they need sand in order to make cement. They would need water. They would need wood, etc., etc. So we're just talking about the natural resources here. They would also need labor. So the construction company would employ architects, builders, carpenters, electricians, plumbers, painters and decorators, etc., etc., in order to produce the final product, which is the house. They also need to pay for capital resources. So this would include things such as the tools needed. It would be a cement mixer, hammers, chainsaws, etc., etc. You can see in that visual there is scaffolding, where the scaffolding has been manufactured. Therefore, it is a capital resource, a man-made resource that is being used in order to construct the home. And as I said, the enterprise is the person who brings the other three factors of production together. Now, this also works with services. So if we think about a hairdressing salon, which is a service, we can also think about the land, the natural resources, the water that is being used when the hairdresser washes their client's hair before cutting their hair. You know, that is a natural resource. The hairdresser themselves will be the labor, the human effort involved, and the capital goods would include things like scissors, etc., etc. Now, students will often get the factors of production and the final product mixed up and confused. So let's not do that in the exam. In this particular example, going back to the building here, the house that's being produced, the final product is the home, is the house. That is the final product, okay? And then there are the factors of production that are used in order to produce the final product, which is the house. Okay, I hope you found that video on the factors of production interesting, useful. If you did, please like and subscribe. Look out for future videos on this channel, and thank you very much for watching.